Good afternoon, YouTube. Today I'm going to be showing you how to take a 2-gallon gas tank and a couple of hoses and help diagnose a fuel system with a mechanical fuel pump. Now the vehicle we're working on today is a 1984 GMC C-1500 pickup truck. It has a 305 small block Chevy that utilizes a mechanical fuel pump, and it has an Edelbrock AVS2 carburetor. Now both the carburetor and the fuel pump are brand new. Yesterday I installed a Dakota digital gauge, and I'm getting fuel fluctuation pressures from 0 to 9 psi. So today I need to diagnose whether or not that's a clogged fuel line or the mechanical fuel pump I bought has a bad diaphragm. The first thing you're going to want to do is find a spot that you can actually put this 2-gallon gas can under the hood of your vehicle. Now I'm lucky that I'm working under the hood of a big truck, because I was able to remove the evap canister, and that gave me a ton of room to set that 2-gallon gas can in. There's the evap canister removed. You can see how big it was in comparison with the actual gas can. So once I removed that out of the way, I had plenty of space. This is what it looks like in place. Now once this filler neck is off of here and I've got my hoses attached, I'm going to run the hoses under here straight to the fuel pump, and I'm going to do the return and the fuel feed back into this can. Now in order to get all this to fit in here and not have gas sloshing around, I just took an old plastic paint cup lid and I drilled those 2 holes in there, and I made 2 vent holes on either side. Now this will go here with the original cap actually on it. I'll show you that real quick. We'll take the actual original cap off. This will go down in it, and our hoses will go through there, and that'll give us just enough seal to keep everything from sloshing around. Just tick of the Alright, so my tech tip for today is going to be to check your hoses for obstructions before you try doing this, because this one completely clogged up. This one completely clogged up. This is Alabama, and we have dirt daubers and all kinds of bugs that like to, as you can see, clog up the end of hoses. And they lay their little babies in there and all that whatnot. So anyway, I broke out the trusty compressor, and we're going to blow some air through it. Alright, we got them blown out and they're nice and clear now. Now we can move on to the step of actually installing them into the gas can and then putting them up in the truck. Alright, I've got the hoses ran down under the fan shroud, and they're popping out right there beside the fuel pump. I'm going to go ahead and cut these 2 hoses to length because I don't want any extra length on there making it harder for the pump. And then once I get that done, I'm going to hook it straight to the fuel pump, plug the 2 lines that were running to it temporarily, and we'll try and fire it up. I don't know if you can see that, but we've got the fuel pump hooked up to those 2 lines that are running to this gas can. Next, I'm going to fire it up and see if it even works and runs, and if so, I'm going to fashion that tank in place so where it won't go anywhere and take it for a test drive. Alright folks, we've got everything nice and engineered up. I've got wire holding this in place in 3 different directions, plus the wall here so it can't move at all. I've tested it to make sure it ran. It sat there and idled for a minute. Had fuel going all the way to the fuel bowls, so I was good with that. Next is a test drive. Alright, well, that was me diagnosing a fuel system with a 2-gallon gas can. What did I learn from it? That I was fighting a battle on 2 different fronts. I now have one of those fronts taken care of. I know there was an issue with the fuel line coming from the tank, or the tank itself. So I'm going to drop the tank, clean out all the fuel lines, replace all the rubber, clean the tank out. Now I have to decide whether or not I'm going to go with a TBI fuel pump in the tank from an 87 Chevy and then do a regulator to step it down to 5.5 psi, or if I'm just going to clean the system out and add a regulator to the mechanical fuel pump that's on there. But if I'm going to go the route of dropping the tank and cleaning it out and cleaning all the fuel lines out, I'm probably going to go ahead and put the electric fuel pump in the tank, because that just gets rid of any problems I may have in the future. I know I've got a higher head pressure than I need. I can regulate it back. That'll keep the actual pressure at the carburetor a lot more steady, and I think it's the best route to go considering I'm putting a high horsepower engine in. Otherwise, the second front that I'm now fighting is trying to figure out why it just completely falls on its face when you open up the throttle valve or I'm sorry, not the throttle valve, but the throttle plates. It's a brand new carburetor. Now that doesn't mean it's perfect, and it doesn't mean that there's not, you know, the needle's not seating properly or something like that. I'm gonna have to tear the top of the carburetor off, even though it's brand new, and check it all out, because that's part of it. And once I've ruled out the carburetor, then we can go from there. We know the fuel system needs to be done anyway, so I'm going to be tackling that on the side as well. Once I get this thing to where I'm comfortable putting a new motor in it, then all of it's going to come right back out, and we're going to be probably doubling the horsepower, if not tripling it. So then we'll get to deal with the drivetrain issues, because I'm sure I'll end up breaking something. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.